My concern is that publicity about this tragic event might encourage those who seek to damage the person and the reputation of the monarchy." Prince Albert Edward fell silent for a thoughtful moment. Then he turned to look at his private secretary, Michael Shanks, who stood in dutiful attendance waiting for a command from his master. "What do you think, Shanks?" he asked. "Regretfully, I have to agree with the Viscount, sir," he said. "We live in turbulent and unsettled times. We must be constantly vigilant to ensure that what happened in France does not happen here." The prince nodded. "Unhappy times indeed. But surely instructing the police not to make the public aware of this hampers their investigations." "That is unfortunately a possibility," agreed Dillon. "I would therefore suggest we look at an alternative." "Private investigators?" queried the prince doubtfully. "By definition, they are limited. They do not have the resources of the police." "True, but there are some who have had great successes in such cases, especially where museums seem to be involved. And the Tower of London is the oldest museum in England." Prince Albert Edward looked at Dillon with concern. "If you're suggesting the people I think you are, I must inform you that I have had difficult relations with the gentleman in question, not just in the past, but as recently as this year." "But they did prove extremely successful when answering Her Majesty's request to undertake an inquiry." "It was not only successful, but it was conducted as Her Majesty had insisted, with the greatest discretion. No mention of it ever appeared in the press." The prince looked unhappy at the prospect, but he deliberated on it and eventually gave a reluctant affirmative nod. "Very well," he said. He turned to his private secretary. "Shanks," he said, "send a letter." Chapter 2. Daniel Wilson looked full of trepidation as he and his wife Abigail, known to the public at large as the Museum Detectives, approached Marlborough House, the London residence of the Prince of Wales and his wife, Princess Alexandra of Denmark. "The last time I was here, the prince had me thrown out." "But not literally," Abigail pointed out. "He would have if I'd refused to leave," said Daniel. "I could tell by the look on his face. His man Shanks would have summoned a few more servants, and I'd have been sitting on the pavement with my dignity in tatters. Yet today here we are calling at the prince's invitation. I don't understand it. What's going on?" "The last time you came here, it was to question him on his relationship with one of his mistresses," Abigail pointed out. "That isn't the case this time." "I'm still doubtful about us being here," said Daniel. "He doesn't like me." "But he invited both of us," pointed out Abigail, and she took the brass bell pull beside the black oak door in her hand and gave it a tug. At Scotland Yard, Chief Superintendent Armstrong slammed a big, beefy fist down hard on the top of his desk. "The Commissioner himself was ordered a blanket of silence over this matter," he snarled, enraged. Inspector John Feather looked on in what he hoped appeared like sympathy. The fact was that over the years he'd seen the Chief Superintendent in similar rages when he'd been barred from what he saw as his right to publicity. In this case, the murder of a yeoman warder at the Tower of London. "A murder in royal premises," Armstrong raged. "The Tower of London, no less. There could be honours arising out of this case." "We haven't been barred from investigating the murder," Feather pointed out. "As good as," snorted Armstrong indignantly. "No involving the press. No talking to anyone. How are we supposed to catch the killer with our hands tied?" He looked sharply at Feather.